I want to see the biggest pit I've ever seen. That way we've got it on camera and everything. This whole section right now. If you don't want to be in the pit, you better get out. You better tell the dude with the camera that he's right in the middle of the pit, because this thing is going to be 50 feet long. All of you, if you don't want to be in the pit, get out right now. You ready? You ready? Yes, y'all. This is how we're going to do this. I watch how the moon sits in the sky in the dark night, shining with the light from the sun. The sun doesn't give light to the moon, assuming the moon's gonna owe me one. Makes me think of when you act to me, you do favors it rapidly. You just turn around and start asking me about things that you want back from me. I'm sick of the tension, sick of the hunger, sick of you and the look I owe you bits. Find another place to reach your green, we'll find a place to rest. I wanna be in another place. I hate when you say you don't understand. Just like you and snap on people like you do. Run away other people I thought I knew. I remember back then who you were. Just to be calm, just to be strong, just to be generous. But you should have known that you wear out your welcome. And now you see how quiet it is all alone. I'm so sick of the tension, sick of the hunger, sick of you and the look I owe you this. Find another place to meet your greed, will I find a place to rest? I'm so sick of the tension, sick of the hunger, sick of you and the look I owe you this. Find another place to meet your greed, will I find a place to rest? I hate when you say you don't understand. You'll see it's not meant to be. I wanna be in the energy, not with the enemy, a place for my head. Right now, what we need to hear from you guys is we need you to help us out with this next part. And all you need to do is say the words "go away." We got that up top? We got that up top? People on the floor, we clear? Do it like this. Yeah, try to take the best of me. Go away. Yeah, try to take the best of me. Yeah, try to take the best of me. Yeah, try to take the best of me. Yeah, yeah, try to take the best of me.
of self-control I fear is never ending. controlling. I can't seem to find myself again. My walls are closing in.
Not a sense of confidence. I'm convinced that there's just too much pressure to take.
I felt this way before. So insecure. Upon me, distracting, reacting. Against my will, I stand beside my own reflection. It's haunting how I can't seem to find myself again. My walls are closing in.
Not a sense of confidence. I'm convinced that there's just too much pressure to take.
I felt this way before. So insecure.
A little bit of disregard, handful of complaints, but I can't help the fact that everyone can see these scars. I am what I want you to want, what I want you to feel, but it's like no matter what I do, I can't convince you to just believe this is real. So I let go, watching you turn your back like you always do, face away and pretend that I'm not, but I'll be here cause you're all that I got.
I can't feel the way I did before. Don't turn your back on me. I won't be ignored. Time won't change this damage anymore. Don't turn your back on me. I won't be ignored.
A little bit insecure, a little unconfident, cause you don't understand to do what I can, but sometimes I don't make sense. I am what you never want to say, but I've never had a doubt. It's like no matter what I do, I can't convince you for once just to hear me out. So let go, watching you turn your back like you always do, face away and pretend that I'm not, but I'll be here cause you're all that I got.
I can't feel the way I did before. Don't turn your back on me. I won't be ignored. Time won't change this damage anymore. Don't turn your back on me. I won't be ignored. No, hear me out now. You're gonna listen to me like it or not. Right now, hear me out now. You're gonna listen to me like it or not. Right now. I can't feel the way I did before. Don't turn your back on me. I won't be ignored. I can't feel the way I did before. Don't turn your back on me. I won't be ignored. Time won't change this damage anymore. Don't turn your back on me. I won't be ignored. I can't feel. Don't turn your back on me. I won't be ignored. Time won't change. no one cares. I'm my own worst enemy. I've given I'm sick of feeling. Is there nothing you can say? Take this away. I'm suffocated. Tell me what the fuck is wrong with me? Put me out of my misery. Put me out of my misery. Put me out of my fucking misery. I've given I'm sick of feeling. Is there nothing you can say? Take this away. I'm suffocated. Tell me what the fuck is wrong with me? What is wrong with me?
It starts with
One thing, I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind. I designed this rhyme to explain in due time. All I know, time is a valuable thing. Watch it fly by as the pendulum swings. Watch it count down to the end of the day. The clock takes life away. It's so unreal. Didn't look out below. Watch the time go right out the window. Trying to hold on to didn't even know I wasted it all just to watch you go. I kept everything inside, and even though I tried, it all fell apart. What it meant to be will eventually be a memory of a time when I tried so hard
and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all, but in the end, it doesn't even matter.
one thing. I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind. I designed this rhyme to remind myself how I tried so hard. In spite of the way you were mocking me, acting like I was part of your property, remembering all the times you fought with me, I'm surprised it got so. Things aren't the way they were before. You wouldn't even recognize me anymore. Not that you knew me back then, but it all comes back to me in the end. You kept everything inside, and even though I tried, it all fell apart. What it meant to me will eventually be a memory of a time when I tried so hard
and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I've put my trust in you, pushed as far as I can go. For all this, there's only one thing you should know. I've put my trust in you, pushed as far as I can go. For all this, there's only one thing you should know. I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all, like a startling sign that fate had finally found me, and your voice was all I heard, that I get what I deserve. So give me reason to prove me wrong, to wash this memory clean. Let the thoughts cross the distance in your eyes. Give me reason to fill this hole, connect the space between. Let it be enough to reach the truth that lies across this new divide. There was nothing in sight but memories left abandoned. There was nowhere to hide, the ashes fell like snow, and the ground caved in between where we were standing, and your voice was all I heard, that I get what I deserve. So give me reason to prove me wrong, to wash this memory clean. Let the thoughts cross the distance in your eyes across this new divide. In every loss, in every lie, in every truth that you deny, and each regret and each goodbye was a mistake too great to hide, and your voice was all I heard, that I get what I deserve. So give me reason to prove me wrong, to wash this memory clean. Let the thoughts cross the distance in your eyes. Give me reason to fill this hole, connect the space between. Let it be enough to reach the truth that lies across this new divide. Across this new divide. Across this new divide. Tired of being what you want me to be, feeling so faithless, lost under the surface. Don't know what you're expecting of me, put under the pressure of walking in your shoes. Every step that I take is another mistake to you. I've become so numb, I can't feel you there. Become so tired, so much more aware. I'm becoming this. All I want to do is be
Now that you did the job, I guess you ain't that damn bad after all. I got some shit. I'd say it's been an honor to work with you, but it would be a lie.